Stalingrad, winter 1942. The city is dying, not quickly, slowly, building by building, street by street, person by person. Sergeant Viktor Reznov is 26 years old, Soviet sniper, and he's killed 43 Germans since September. He doesn't remember most of their faces, just the ones who saw him first. The ones who almost got him. There's one he'll never forget. It starts in November. Reznov is positioned in a bombed-out apartment building, third floor, watching an intersection 300 meters away. German supply trucks use that route. Officers sometimes. Good targets. He's been there 2 hours when he sees movement. Across the street, opposite building, fourth floor window, just a shadow, just a shift in the darkness. Another sniper. Reznov doesn't move, doesn't breathe, just watches. The other sniper, German, has to be German, is doing the same thing, watching the same intersection, waiting for the same targets. They've set up in mirror positions, both covering the same kill zone, both invisible to everyone except each other. Reznov has a choice: take the shot, try to kill the German sniper, or wait, watch, see what happens. He waits, the German waits too. 3 hours pass, neither moves. The intersection stays empty, no targets, no opportunities. Just two snipers watching each other without seeing each other, both knowing the other is there. At dusk, Reznov withdraws, carefully, slowly, expecting a bullet that doesn't come. The next morning he's back. Different position, same building, different window. The German is there too. Different window, same building. They've both moved, both adjusted, both learned. For 3 days they hunt each other. Reznov takes a shot once, misses, sees the German's muzzle flash, throws himself sideways as the return shot punches through where his head was a second ago. Neither gets a kill, both get close. On day 4, Reznov tries something different. He sets up a decoy, helmet on a stick, positioned in a window, waits in a different position, watching. The German doesn't shoot, just waits. 3 hours, 4, never takes the bait. Reznov realizes this isn't just a good sniper. This is someone who thinks like he does, who sees the tricks, who won't rush. He starts calling him the German in his head. Not the enemy, not the target, just the German, someone specific, someone real. December comes, the temperature drops to -30. Stalingrad becomes a frozen hell. But the duel continues. Reznov and the German, neither can let it go. Neither can walk away. They develop a pattern. Both know where the other will be. Both know the other's habits. They're learning each other like chess players learn an opponent's style. Reznov starts leaving signs, small things. A spent casing position just so. A piece of cloth tied to a broken beam. The German responds, adjusts his position, leaves his own signs. They're communicating without words, without seeing each other, just two snipers in a ruined city, speaking, in bullet holes and empty positions. January 1943. The duel has lasted 2 months. Reznov has killed 17 more Germans. None of them matter. Only the German matters. Only the one who won't die. One morning, Reznov arrives at his position, finds something new, a cigarette, German brand, placed carefully on the windowsill where Reznov usually sets up. The German was here, in Reznov's position. Could have booby-trapped it, could have ambushed him, didn't, just left a cigarette. Reznov stares at it, understanding what it means. The German is saying, I could have killed you, but I didn't. Because this is better. This duel, this test, this strange respect between enemies who've never met. Reznov smokes the cigarette, takes a position, waits. Across the street he knows the German is waiting too. The duel continues through winter, through the German surrender in February 1943. Through the end of Stalingrad, Reznov never sees the German's face, never learns his name, but when the Germans retreat, when the siege finally ends, Reznov feels something strange, loss. He misses the German, misses the duel, misses having an enemy who was worthy, who understood. He'll think about the German for the rest of his life, wonder if he survived. Wonder if he thinks about Reznov too. Wonder what would happen if they ever met without rifles and ruins between them. It will take 45 years to find out. February 1943. The Battle of Stalingrad ends. The Germans surrender. Reznov searches through prisoner columns, looking for a face he's never seen, looking for the German. He doesn't find him, doesn't even know what he's looking for, just knows he'll recognize something. The eyes, the way someone moves, something. But there are 90,000 German prisoners. Most are dying. All are broken. Reznov never finds the German. The war continues. Reznov fights through Ukraine, through Poland, into Germany itself. Kills more Germans. 73 confirmed by the end. Receives medals. Becomes a hero of the Soviet Union. None of them are the German. None of them matter the same way. May 1945. Germany surrenders. Reznov returns to Moscow. Gets married. Has 2 children, works as a factory foreman, lives a normal Soviet life, never talks about the war except when drunk, and even then he doesn't talk about the German. Some things are too strange to explain. Meanwhile, in Bavaria, Oberfeldwebel Klaus Zimmerman is trying to forget Stalingrad, trying to forget the Russian sniper who hunted him for 2 months, the one who left the cigarette, the one who understood. Klaus survived the retreat, survived the rest of the war, came home to find his wife remarried, his house occupied by refugees, his whole life erased. He rebuilds, remarries, has 3 children, works construction, never talks about being a sniper, never mentions Stalingrad. But he thinks about the Russian, about the duel, about the strange respect that grew between them, about the cigarette he left the moment he chose not to kill a man he could have killed easily. The Cold War comes, the Berlin Wall goes up. The Soviet Union and the West become enemies again. Viktor and Klaus live their separate lives, neither knowing the other survived, neither able to forget. Years pass, 1950, 1960, 1970. Their children grow up, they grow old. The war becomes history, becomes something grandchildren learn in school. But Viktor still dreams about Stalingrad, about a window across a street, about waiting, about the German who never showed himself but was always there. And Klaus still dreams about a Russian sniper who could have killed him a dozen times but chose the duel instead, chose the test, chose to let it continue. Mikhail Gorbachev comes to power. Glasnost, perestroika. The Soviet Union starts opening, starts allowing things that were impossible before, like veteran organizations, like correspondence, like the possibility of talking about the war honestly instead of through propaganda. Viktor, now 69 years old, writes to a Soviet veterans magazine. Not about medals, not about heroism, about something else. I am looking for a German sniper who fought at Stalingrad, winter 1942-43. We hunted each other for 2 months, neither won. If you were that sniper, or if you know him, I would like to speak with him, not as enemies, as men who shared something few others could understand. The letter is published, gets attention. Veterans write back, some mocking, some curious, some understanding. One letter is different, forwarded through the Red Cross, through West German veteran organizations. It takes 6 months to reach Viktor. I was at Stalingrad. I was a sniper. I remember a Russian who wouldn't die, who left me a spent casing positioned like a chess piece. I left him a cigarette. I think I've been looking for you without knowing I was looking. My name is Klaus Zimmerman. Viktor's hands shake as he reads. 43 years since the duel ended. And now maybe it can have a different ending. He writes back immediately. They exchange letters, careful at first, testing, making sure it's real, that they're really the 2 men who hunted each other across a ruined city. The details match, the positions, the cigarette, the duel that lasted 2 months and ended without either dying. Klaus writes, I have thought about you more than any other person from the war. You were the only enemy who was truly my equal, the only one who made me better. Viktor writes back, I have missed you. Is that strange? To miss someone who tried to kill you, but I have. For 43 years. In 1988, the borders open enough. Viktor gets permission to travel to West Germany. Official visit, cultural exchange, something possible now that wasn't possible before. Klaus meets him at the Munich train station. Klaus is 71 years old. Viktor is 72. They haven't seen each other in 45 years. Didn't see each other then, just knew the other was there, just felt the presence. They recognize each other anyway, not the faces, not the bodies, but something else. The way Klaus stands, the way Viktor moves, the patience, the stillness, the habit of watching. Viktor, Klaus says in Russian. He learned it, prepared for this. Klaus! Viktor's German is terrible, but he tries. They shake hands, stand there on the platform while people flow around them. Two old men, former enemies, connected by something neither can quite explain. I cannot believe you are real, Viktor says through a translator they hired. For 45 years, I thought maybe I imagined you. Maybe you were just the fear, the exhaustion. Maybe there was no German sniper. Just me going mad in Stalingrad. I thought the same, Klaus admits. I thought maybe the Russian was a myth, something I created to make sense of surviving. They go to a cafe, sit for hours, talk through the translator, share stories about the duel, about the positions they took, about the near misses. November 18th, Viktor says. I saw your muzzle flash, fired, thought I had you. You hit the wall behind me, 5 centimeters from my head. I felt the concrete dust, thought I was dead. November 23rd, you shot at my decoy, the helmet. I didn't shoot. I knew it was a decoy. You would not be so obvious. You were right. They laugh, actually laugh, about trying to kill each other, about the chess game with bullets, about 2 months of hunting that ended with both alive. The cigarette, Viktor says. Why did you leave it? Klaus thinks. Because killing you would have ended something I was not ready to end. The duel made me feel alive, made me feel like I was more than just another soldier. You were the only person in that city who saw me, really saw me, even though we never looked at each other. I felt the same. After Stalingrad, after you were gone, I felt empty. No one else understood what it meant. To be a sniper, to hunt, to be hunted. Only you understood. Did you kill many others after Stalingrad? Viktor nods. 73 total, but none of them were you. None of them mattered the same way. I had 58, none were you. They sit with that. 2 men who killed 131 people between them, who can't even remember most of the faces, but who remember each other perfectly even though they never met. I need to tell you something, Klaus says after a while. After the war, I had nightmares, not about the killing, about missing you, about the cigarette. I would dream I went back to Stalingrad, back to that building, and you were not there, just empty windows. And I would wake up feeling like I had lost something important. I had the same dreams, Viktor says quietly. I would dream the duel never ended, that we were still there, still hunting. And I would wake up disappointed that it was over. They spend 3 days together. Klaus shows Viktor around Munich. They visit the mountains, drink beer, take photographs, become impossibly friends. On the last night, Viktor gives Klaus something, a small wooden box. Inside, a spent rifle casing, Soviet-made, Mosin-Nagant. From Stalingrad, Viktor says. From the duel, I kept it. I do not know why, but I think you should have it. Klaus opens his wallet, pulls out a small piece of metal, flattened, deformed. German bullet, he says. The one you fired on November 18th. I dug it out of the wall behind me. I have carried it for 45 years. They trade, Soviet casing for German bullet, pieces of the duel, pieces of the thing that connected them. Will you write to me? Klaus asks. After you go back? Yes, of course, we have 45 years to catch up on. More than that, we have 45 years to understand. They write for the next decade. Viktor in Moscow, Klaus in Munich, letters every month, sometimes more, not about the war mostly. About grandchildren, about gardens, about getting old. But always underneath the duel, the thing that defined them, the 2 months that mattered more than the rest of the war combined. In 1990, the Berlin Wall falls. The Soviet Union starts collapsing. Viktor invites Klaus to Moscow, to Russia, to see where he's from. Klaus comes. Viktor shows him the city. They visit the War Museum, stand in front of exhibits about Stalingrad, look at photographs of the ruins they both remember. "I am glad we did not kill each other," Viktor says, looking at a photo of the destroyed city. "Yes, but I think part of me will always wonder." Wonder what? Which of us was better? Which of us would have won if the duel had continued? Viktor smiles. "I was better, obviously." "You are delusional, old friend. I had you in my sights 3 times. I chose not to shoot. You chose not to miss, you mean. You could not hit me." They argue about it, playfully, the way old friends argue about sports or politics, about which of them was the better sniper, about who really won the duel that never had a winner. In 1992, they make a trip together, back to Stalingrad, now called Volgograd. The city has been rebuilt. Nothing remains of the ruins they remember. The buildings where they hunted each other are gone, replaced by Soviet apartments and monuments. They stand where the intersection used to be, where they both watched for targets, where the duel took place. "It is strange," Klaus says. "I remember every meter of this place, every building, every window, and now it is all gone, like it never happened." "We remember," Viktor says. "That makes it real." They find the approximate locations of their positions, stand where they once hunted each other, look across at each other without rifles or war between them. "If we had met differently," Klaus says, "if there had been no war, do you think we would have been friends?" "No," Viktor says honestly. "We are too different. You are German, I am Russian. You like order, I like chaos. We would have nothing in common. Except the duel. Except the duel. That is what made us friends, not despite being enemies. Because of it. Because we tested each other, made each other better, understood what it cost to survive." They take a photograph, 2 old men standing in a rebuilt city, looking at each other across a space that used to be a battlefield. Klaus dies in 1996 at 79. Viktor learns from Klaus's son, travels to Bavaria for the funeral, speaks at it, in bad German, but he speaks. "Your father was my enemy," he tells the family. "He tried to kill me many times. I tried to kill him. But he was also the person who understood me better than anyone else in my life. We shared something rare, not just war, but respect, between men who should have hated each other but couldn't." Klaus's grandson asks Viktor a question after the service. "Did you ever figure out which of you was better? Which of you won?" Viktor thinks, "No, and I am glad we did not, because if one of us had won, one of us would have died. And then this," he gestures at the funeral, at the family, at everything, "would never have happened. We both won because we both survived." Viktor dies in 1999 at 83. His family finds the letters from Klaus, finds the German bullet he carried, finds photographs of 2 old snipers smiling at each other in places that used to be killing grounds. His daughter publishes the letters. They become a small sensation in Russia and Germany. 2 snipers, 2 enemies, 2 months of trying to kill each other, 45 years of friendship. People ask her, "How could your father be friends with someone who tried to kill him?" She has an answer from one of Viktor's last letters to Klaus. "You ask if I ever hated you. No. How can you hate someone you respect? How can you hate someone who made you better, even while trying to kill you? We were enemies, but we were also something else. Two men doing the same impossible job, understanding the same unbearable things. That understanding mattered more than the flags we fought for. The duel that lasted 2 months, the friendship that lasted 10 years, the respect that lasted a lifetime. Two snipers who tried to kill each other and failed. Not because they weren't good enough, but because they were both too good, because neither could bear to end something that made them both feel seen. In the end, maybe that's what war does to some people. Not destroy them, not break them, but connect them to the only other person who understands what it means to be the hunter and the hunted at the same time. Klaus and Viktor, the German and the Russian. Two men who found friendship where they should have found only death. Because sometimes the person trying to kill you is the only person who really sees you.